welcome back to my channel. I'm Joya and this is J-Bay, my little piece of the internet where I get to share the real, the raw, and the reality surrounding fibroids, family, and postpartum fitness. Today we're going to talk about power pumping, okay? There is power in power pumping. So let's back up just a little bit. So my baby was born in February at 37 weeks. He was a little bitty thing, okay? He was under 6 pounds. And when I tell you at 1 month old, the difference is clear, okay? From boom to bam. Like breast milk is lit, okay? I don't have anything against formula, but baby, this was my experience and this is just what I've always heard, what I've always read, and it really worked for my kid, okay? So everything was going well. Once we got past a little bit of latch issues, breastfeeding was a wonderful experience between me and my baby. So everything was going great. From February to mid-October, we was good. So then late October, mama decided it was time for some mama and daddy time. And we went to homecoming. Now, I am a graduate of the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. And if you know, you know. Baby, homecoming is a time, and a time we had, okay? This was my first time away from Wynn, and he had crazy amount of breast milk in the freezer. He was safe, he was with his grandparents, so I was able to just focus on me and my husband and having a good time with my friends. It was my 15-year anniversary with my sorority. Hey, sorors. Ooh. And it was just gonna be a really good time away from my mommy duties. Now, don't get me wrong, we drove from Tennessee to Florida and I probably cried from Tennessee to Atlanta. But once we hit Atlanta, picked up my best friend, Plies was on the radio, and it was time to party, okay? So, had a good time. Had a libation or 4. Now, I did continue to pump because I had to. Like, if I didn't, literally, it would hurt, right? But I was not on my pumping schedule that I was on before because Wynn ate, y'all saw them chunky little legs. My baby ate a lot. It's almost like he was nonstop cluster feeding for like 7 months. But, so I wasn't pumping that often, but when I felt full, I pulled away. I went to the Airbnb, I went to the car. One time I pumped in a dorm parking lot, I pumped in the stadium parking lot, whatever I had to do just to be comfortable. But I wasn't pumping like I would have been pumping or feeding at home. So I was off schedule, but I was having a good time. I pretty much was pumping and dumping because even if I tried to like save the milk that I pumped that morning, I was really nervous because some nights we were drinking to 2, 3 in the morning and, you know, 11 a.m. I was like, I don't know if it was enough hours to feed it to my baby. So I pretty much pumped and dumped the whole time we were there. I got back straight into mommy mode. I was so excited. Y'all, I got back and put my baby on the boob and he basically was like, nah sis, we ain't going back to that. He pretty much weaned himself off of the boob. And just hearing experiences from other moms, they said that's great because it can be really hard to wean your baby off of the boob. But I was kind of sad, right? Like in my idea, it was like, you know, I wanted to dictate when the last time he would be on so I could savor the moment. But y'all, that boy had teeth. He was biting. And once I got past that initial sadness, I was all good because I was tired of getting bit. And I was ready to move on to the next stage. All right, so now enter full-time pumping. So that night I decided, well, let me get a quick pump in before bed. I pumped for about 30 minutes, 1 ounce. So I said, maybe I'm just really tired. My body is exhausted. So let's just go to bed and we'll try again in the morning. So usually my morning pump, I would get at least 5 ounces within like 20 minutes because it was just, I guess my body, everything was intact to just produce, right? So I did my morning pump as I had always done. Y'all, 30 minutes, 1/2 ounces. I was distraught. I mean, immediately I started freaking out. Like, oh my God, what did I do? Was the tequila worth it? I should have stayed home. We shouldn't have gone. I knew it was too soon. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I gotta go to formula. My husband's like, okay, you need to chill. Just calm down. Take a deep breath. We'll try again in a couple of hours. Maybe your body just needs to get back to your schedule. All right, cool. A few hours later, 30 minutes. It was maybe an ounce, maybe. I'm thinking it was a little less than an ounce. And again, freak out mode. Now, don't get me wrong. I am absolutely not against formula feeding. The purpose here is to make sure your baby is healthy and fed. And if we needed to go to formula, I would have done that. Now, I did have, of course, internal goals where I really wanted my baby on breast milk until he was at least 1 year old. But of course, I was willing to do what I had to do for the health of my child. So I started researching and researching and researching. The biggest fear I had at the time about formula was because there were so many formula recalls and there was a huge formula shortage at that time where you couldn't even find it on the shelf. And some of the ones you did find, a week later, it was recalled for some kind of issue. So that had me kind of terrified to go to formula, but I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to make sure my baby was fed and safe. So I did what we all do. I went to Google, I went to YouTube, I went to Instagram, I asked my friends, I asked the lactation specialist because I wanted to know that if I have to go to formula, I know that I did everything that I could, everything in my power to at least try to get my supply back to where it was or greater. Then enters power pumping. Y'all, I came across this article and I was like, you know what? This seems like a lot of work. But I went to YouTube. I saw some other channels talking about it. It still seemed like a lot of work. But once I started it, it really wasn't so bad. I did it in the way that best fit me. And I think if you're going to do it, you need to find the way that best fits you. But I'm here to share my experience, okay? So first, what is power pumping? Power pumping is basically when you pump on and off for a certain amount of time, and you basically are mimicking your baby's feeding, probably like cluster feeding. So it's like you pump for this long, you stop for this long. You pump for this long, you stop for this long. You pump and you stop. And basically it's supposed to stimulate your breast so that it supplies more, because breastfeeding is all about supply and demand. The more you pump, the more you make, all right? So who should power pump? Anybody that's trying to keep a steady flow of breast milk, anybody who's trying to get their milk back pumping after a wild weekend like I, and anybody that's really just breastfeeding and maybe trying to set up a freezer stash. I was so grateful that I was pumping all along from when my baby was born. So our freezer stash was great. I actually still have some in there that's probably about to expire. So probably will start using it in his bath soon, just so I won't completely waste it. But y'all, power pumping is for everybody, okay? Everybody. If you got some lactation going on, it could be worth your while, all right? So how do you power pump? Okay, so in my opinion, one of the major keys for power pumping is choosing the right time of the day to do it. It's best to do it when your milk production is usually at its peak. And for me, that was first thing in the morning. So at the time, my baby was waking up anywhere between 6 and 6:15. So you need an hour stretch to be able to do it. And I would get up at 5. So that, or really like 4:50, so I can get my mind together to start power pumping at 5. So that would give me that full hour to pump before he woke up so that I would not be disrupted. So basically you pump for 20 minutes and then you rest for 10 minutes and then you pump again for 10 minutes and then you rest for 10 minutes and then you pump again. Was that an hour? 20, 10, 10, 10, 10. Yeah. So pump 20, rest 10, pump 10, rest 10, pump 10, all right? So that should put you at an hour. And then you wrap up and you pump regularly throughout the day. Now, I did it twice a day. Some people recommend that you don't go more than once a day, but I did it twice a day because y'all, I was desperate, okay? And I found that it worked the best for me. Now I did twice a day for 6 days, and then I went down to once a day. Now, some people see improvement the first day, 24 hours. They power pump, and then the next day, it's like gallons and gallons and gallons of milk. That wasn't me, okay? It took me a good 3 days. Thankfully, I had enough breast milk in the freezer to hold him over until I was able to get my milk production back together. But on day 3, I started seeing it, y'all, and the relief that came over my body was just amazing. Like, I was in prayer, I was in gratitude and thankfulness for this turnaround. And if it worked for me, I have faith that it also can work for you. So I did this early in the morning, and then I did it again late at night for the first 6 days. It's 2 hours out of your day. It might seem like a lot, but y'all, first thing in the morning, and then when you know you're about to go to bed, start power pumping after you put baby down for the night, and just get it done before you go to sleep. It really does help. It really does make a difference. Again, I did it twice a day for 6 days, and then I went to once a day for about 5 days, and then I was able to kind of get back to my regular pumping schedule. But any other time that I saw a dip, I was right back on it. So like, I had gone out of town again in January overnight without my baby. I came back, it was the same story, but it was less of a freak out because I knew what I needed to do. So after I got back, I went right back into my power pumping rhythm. And this time it didn't take as long to show me some improvement, right? To show me the goal. So I think I power pumped twice a day for like 3 or 4 days that time. And then once a day for 3 or 4 days. And then I was back into my rhythm, and praise the Lord, we made it to February, his next birthday, his first birthday. So everything was just like, it went from major freak out to God saying, girl, I told you I got you. So listen, mommies, daddies who are supporting mommies, wet nurses, whoever you are, y'all, you can do this. If you are having a dip in your production, don't be me, be better than me. Don't freak out, and at least give it a shot, because literally, what do you have to lose, okay? Now, I have read articles to say, don't do it more than twice a day. This is just my little warning. It can cause soreness depending on, how heavy your pump is going. I actually found an article. So I use my Spectra pump for my power pumping. You can use a manual pump. It was easier for me to connect and be hands-free. I had a pumping bra, as you can see in my thumbnail, but it was just easier for me to use my Spectra. I'm also gonna do a video on my favorite breast pumps a little bit later, but I use my Spectra and my pumping bra so that I can at least have my hands and do other things as I was pumping during that hour. But they say don't do it more than twice a day, because then you're gonna get sore nipples and possibly bleeding and all that stuff that we don't want. I didn't have those issues, so I can't speak to if that actually happens, but that's just some things that I've read. I've also seen articles, if you Google Spectra power pumping, there are articles that kind of give you some suggested levels to do for each of the time spans. So it might say start at a level 5 for the first 5 minutes, and then go up to a level 7 for the next 10 minutes, or whatever it was. If I can find the article, I will link it in the description. But I do think that those changes in power levels, I guess you call them, I forget the correct terms, but helped. So give that a try, or just try it at whatever level is comfortable for you. Again, this is not supposed to hurt. It's like breastfeeding, right? It's supposed to be an experience. Your body is creating nutrition for another human being. Like, how wild is that, y'all? How wild is that? This should be a wonderful experience. This is life. Like, literally, you have given life, and now you are giving life to the life that you have given, okay? So you shouldn't be in pain. You shouldn't be dreading, oh, I gotta do this again. Y'all, count it all in joy, okay? Because it's literally favor that have gotten you this far. God won't bring you to anything. He won't bring you through. And again, Formula is not bad, okay? If I would have had to go to formula, I would have been in the store with my little scanner, making sure whatever I got hadn't been recalled. Whatever it takes for a healthy, happy baby, that's what we want. But if you had goals like me, where you really wanted to stick with breast milk as long as you could, try power pumping. It is worth it, okay? I hope this video has been informative. I hope that I've been able to help someone. If so, please like, comment, and subscribe. And go tell your sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy to come over here and do the same. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.